Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. We are at Heron Creek Yoga in Ancaster, and I'm here with Dawn and this lovely, beautiful, relaxing place of yours. And we've talked about yoga on the show before and all the wonderful benefits. And, you know, let's just remind people what yoga can bring to anybody's life. It doesn't matter, male, female, however old or young.
Well, yoga is totally a wonderful practice. It brings together your mind, body, and your spirit. And a lot of that has to do with the breathing. So when you slow down your breath, you connect, you feel your body, and it brings you to greater health.
It's amazing because so many of us walk around almost in shallow breath, right? Short breaths throughout the day. We don't even realize all the stress and anxiety that we carry around. And that's why I love going to yoga, because it actually forces me to breathe deeply. Sometimes I can't get that top end of my breath because you're carrying around so much stress, right?
That's right.
This is where you do it.
Most people breathe very shallowly right into the top of their chest, and yoga helps to teach you to breathe deep into the belly. And for pregnant ladies especially, it begins to become very important because they haven't got a lot of room to breathe with the baby there.
And that brings us to our point of being here today, is we're really going to focus on pregnancy prenatal yoga. And this is something I actually did while I was pregnant. I did yoga the entire time.
Wonderful.
And I loved it. And even the relaxation part, again, just forcing you to just be and connect and all of those wonderful things. A lot of people are afraid. Can I do yoga when I'm pregnant? Absolutely.
Absolutely. You can do yoga when you're pregnant. What I like about yoga when you're pregnant is it's very gentle. I do encourage people to go to prenatal yoga. If they have been doing yoga, they can continue with their regular practice for a little while, usually to 17, 20 weeks. But I really prefer to see people to go to a prenatal yoga class because it's completely tailored to their needs.
Right.
It's such a special time when women are pregnant, such a beautiful experience. Their hormones are changing, their feelings are changing, their bodies are changing. So the prenatal yoga is very carefully designed to work with the changing bodies and minds of women.
So that's the good thing, is that, I mean, a lot of people have done yoga leading up to being pregnant, and as you say, can make adjustments along the way. But so if you've never done yoga before, you can start while you're pregnant.
That's
as
right.
long as you're doing proper prenatal teaching.
Yes, I wouldn't start regular yoga if you've never done it before you were pregnant, but prenatal yoga is excellent, and I encourage it because it stretches the muscles that need to be stretched for childbirth. It helps to strengthen the muscles that get overstretched due to the extra weight of pregnancy.
Ah, yes.
And it can ease a lot of the discomforts in the low back and the upper shoulders, which become big issues for some women during pregnancy. We encourage them to put their feet up a lot.
Yes.
Which, you know, a lot of the women get those swollen feet.
Huge. Absolutely.
And the main thing that I think I found in prenatal yoga was the camaraderie with the other women. Because you make these friends and they're going through the same thing as you. And
that's the best part. So while you're going through your pregnancy and you're all watching each other's bellies grow, some are in the class, they're already advanced, and you hear, oh, guess what? So-and-so's not here this week because she had her baby, right? So, and everybody, yeah, you're right. It becomes a really great social connection amongst moms. And I know a lot of people can keep those friendships for years down the road.
They
so it's really kind of a neat, there's so much about it that's good for you, right?
Absolutely.
And again, forcing you as well, because nowadays, so many women are keeping their jobs and they're running around and they're pregnant and they're doing all the other things. It may be their second or third pregnancy, so they have other kids and there's a lot of stress in life. They have to remove themselves from that and come here and take some time for themselves.
We really teach them to take that hour and say, this is for me. It's not selfish, it's self-care, and it allows you to be better when you come out of the room. So another thing that's so important, yoga means linking. So it's linking the breath and the mind. And when you start to slow down your breath and you start to relax, your whole body can get its healthiest. Even without the postures, the breathing is very, very effective. And another thing that's, of course, wonderful about the breathing is in labor and delivery.
There you go.
If you know how to relax and slow your breath down, focus and go inward, it gives so many people that added confidence in labor, and that added confidence can lead to a much better outcome in your birth because you're relaxed.
Well, because a lot of new moms are very frightened. Everything's new, right? Yeah. So you need some kind of help, right? So let's talk about the average class, roughly around an hour long.
An hour long. They are in the evenings because we do recognize that people are still usually at work through most of their pregnancy. Although we are adding a prenatal relaxation yoga in the daytime
Nice.
later. So that's a good thing to have. But the class is an hour. The teachers are certified in prenatal yoga as well as normal yoga.
Okay.
And my teacher, Megan, and I, we studied with Monica Voss, and she's from Esther Meyer Studios in Toronto. And we did a wonderful program with her. And what we really focus on in our classes is getting the mom to tune into her own body.
Okay.
And to be very aware of what feels right and what doesn't feel right, and to stay connected and not push herself too far.
That's very important, because now it's a different type of exercise. Yoga becomes different when, as you say, when you're pregnant, you have to be very aware, and you do have to listen to your body. And some people who maybe aren't dancers or haven't practiced yoga for long periods of time don't know how to listen to their bodies almost, right?
That's
They're not
right.
sure what feels right. Am I supposed to feel that? Is that good? Is that bad? So having that a really good instructor is key.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we do keep the class small, no more than 10 people in a class. And it's very personalized. We make sure that we go around. We do ask first, but we will do hands-on adjustments.
Right.
We do recommend hands-on adjustments, but they're very gentle. And we also use lots of props to support the women in the poses.
And that's the thing. So when you're taking your yoga class, you're taking it all the way up to, now you can take this right up until you give birth to that
Right
baby,
up until delivery.
So there you go. So you've got guidance all the way through. And then what the best part is after you have the baby, you can come back and take yoga again and help get yourself back.
That's right.
And
That's
feel
right.
good again. And especially when you have a little baby, if you can escape for just a little while.
Just a little while. And you know what we even have? We even have itsy bitsy yoga for mom and baby.
That's what I was going to bring up. So this is what's fun about you guys just incorporate everybody.
We do.
The whole gamut.
We do. Because, I'm a mom of 3. I've always wanted to own a family yoga studio, somewhere where people could come in and feel like they're part of a community. And a lot of people have kids.
Yes.
So if you start with prenatal, you come to mom and baby yoga, mom and tot yoga. We have kinder music, and then we have yoga for kids, and we even have family yoga. So we really have a lot of things, because you know why? I like to see my kids.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? And then you're also probably, chances are you're going to see the moms a little bit more if they know they can bring their kids. It's always a relief for moms when they know that they can bring their children along. They can get something that will benefit them as well as their children. And then they're teaching their children, again, exercise. Take care of yourself. All of that respect, right? Self-respect.
That's right. And yoga, I really do feel, is a lifelong skill. If you can learn yoga breathing and to relax your mind and body, I really feel that it can help individuals to start to fulfill their real potential by becoming as well and healthy as you can be, as centered and focused. Then you can become that great person that's inside you.
Yes, instead of running around like a stress ball, right?
That's
Teach yourself just to breathe. Like at a traffic light, I need to breathe right now. Just anything at any given time. So whether you're here or not. So we really appreciate you letting us come into the space, and thank you behind us to our lovely little pregnant lady, Shelley. And again as well, thank you to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, more TERRA at Home coming up after this.
TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
The Hamilton Spectator, at work, at home, or on the go. Read us online, in print, or download us to your e-reader. Get the Hamilton Spectator any way you want it.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are at Miller's Shoe, the original location here down on James Street North, and I'm happy to be here. I have to tell you, Andrew, because we're talking about shoes and boots and wonderful things, and we're in the heart of winter.
Sounds exciting to me.
And you have the experience, so you can just take us along here. So we have lots to talk about in terms of, let's start off with ladies, because that's more about what we're dealing with today. We do have some men's shoes to talk about as well. But what are some of the trends we're seeing right now here in the winter and winter boots, and if anything has carried from last year to this year?
Sounds good. Well, one of the trends this year is the stacked heel, 4-inch heel. We do have 1.5 inch platform, which does take away some of the ease
It does.
of discomfort.
It makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
It does. Also seeing the laces right all the way up to the top of the boot, and in the vibrant colors, the maroon, the black, even some nice grays.
And that's, you know what, I think that's the thing, that one thing is the laces have carried from last year, and I do like that it's not just all about black right now, and people are branching out and going into other colors, and we're seeing that with all the lines.
Color, color, color.
Yeah,
And
which is great, and people at first are like, oh, in winter I just buy black, but that's not the case anymore.
no, and also it's not meant to match, it's meant to complement
Right.
with the colors.
So you don't have to match your boot to your purse, your handbag, or anything.
Absolutely not.
So
and
there we go.
that's not the trend, and the trend is just to complement.
Right.
And in addition, down here we have the Geox boot. And
Speaking of color.
Yes,
Look at
and the
these.
acid yellow and the purple.
Wow.
Again with the stacked heel.
Now I'm noticing with these ones so far that you've shown me, these are suede.
That is correct.
Right. So again, sometimes people, particularly here in Canada in our climate and conditions, people are kind of shy away from suede because they're worried about, just basically ruining them. But they're a lot better now, aren't they? The way they're treated.
Indeed, indeed. They're pretty hardy. Apply some all protector spray. They're pretty low maintenance.
Yeah. I mean, I would be worried a little bit about the yellow ones. You might want to be a little careful. You don't want to be splashing around in puddles too much with those.
Correct, correct.
But fun.
Even though they are waterproof, they are breathable, which makes them comfortable inside for all-day wear. Again, so are the Mark boots. These are meant to be worn outdoors,
Yes.
but because of the breathability, they're comfortable for indoors.
And you guys, I know you guys carry the Canadian boots as well, right, from Montreal?
La Canadian,
And La Canadian, and they are, I mean, I actually bought a pair here once before, and they are so durable, and again, it's black suede, but they've lasted for years because they are meant to be outside.
Correct.
Right? They were
Correct.
designed to be out there and doing their thing, and certain soles, which we'll look at as we make our way along as well. Let's talk a little bit about Uggs, because Uggs have come a long way from traditional, what we recognize as this one here. But again, this is a new color too, right?
That is correct. A new color called Sugar this year in the Ugg Short Classic.
That's very cute. And this is cool. I like this one.
The Ugg Sweater Boot
Look at
with
that.
a buckle.
That's really great.
And that's a new variation. They also have introduced moccasin style Ugg boots.
Okay, and these ones are great again as well. Very comfortable. Again, traditional with well made. Ugg boots are actually very, very well made, but this is actually kind of neat. This is how they have the zipper on the outside. A lot of the moccasins don't.
Correct.
So really nice.
There's also a tall version
Look
here.
at this guy. I love this.
The laces go all the way up to the top. There is a zipper, a side zipper, which supplies ease for pulling the boot on.
I think you could probably roll these down too, couldn't
Yeah.
you? Oh, that's
And
cool.
look at
I
how
like those.
fashionable that would be.
That would be neat. I love that. Okay, very cool. Those are great. So again, you guys carry lots of different styles of Uggs, and that's the one thing that is great. Is it's something we know there are a lot of certain styles that you will carry on a regular basis throughout your seasons.
Absolutely.
Why don't we move over, because as we're still just talking about, again, geared around weather, and we'll get to the general sort of synopsis of what your store is all about. But hunter boots, a lot of people looking for those now. They've been around forever and a day, but
Absolutely.
they're finally officially crossed the pond a few years back, and now we're all wearing them.
They've made the way for the classic English riding rain boot. In addition, they can be worn with a fleece welly liner.
Like this here, and we have one here as well.
So that turns the rain boot into a warm winter boot.
Makes a
Also
huge
adds some
difference.
style
Yes.
for the cuffing.
Right, so as you fold it over the top of the boot there, again, it really does. And there are so many different styles now. They keep bringing out more.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So again, that actually really helps a lot with, again, as you say, we get that climate sometimes where you don't really need to wear the winter boot, but you get something that's completely waterproof, and by putting that insert in, it takes the edge off a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to be wearing them without the insert sometimes.
Not in the winter.
Right.
And quickly, let me mention, Leslie, on this hunter boot over here does have the back buckle. It supplies a little more width for the generous athletic calves, if you will.
Oh, there you
So
go.
that's
I like
a
the way
new
you said
style
that.
this year. So ladies, keep in mind that.
That's actually a really good idea. See, I have like very, very small legs, so I always find I'm swimming in my boots, but I understand that there's more of a problem where women have bigger calves that are harder to fit.
Correct.
Right, which I was so shocked by. So this way you can adjust and give a little expansion when necessary.
Correct.
That's actually really smart.
Very nice.
I like the UK one down there too, the Union Jack.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
and that's a limited edition this year.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Now
that's
also shorter ones in the hunter boots as well.
That is correct. We do have shorter hunter boots, and we also have the fleece liners for the short boots as well.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't
which
know
is new
that.
this year.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Okay,
something
awesome.
to keep in mind as well.
Very good to know. Okay, so let's talk about these ones. So these are beautiful boots, and you're saying these are kind of like the hot thing right now.
Oh, the Michael Kors riding boot that
Yes.
does go above the knee.
Yes, so you can see this here takes it above the knee.
And let me mention, the back is a stretch fabric, so it works well with jeans, tights. Also looks fabulous with dresses and skirts.
Yes, and that actually really refines it, where this one is all leatherback, right?
Correct. Now, let me just show you, Leslie, the different bottoms.
Okay.
It's available with a little more tread, as this,
Over this one.
or the smooth bottom.
Okay, there you go.
And that's been a very hot item this season.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people with these on, for sure.
They look great.
They do, and again, without having to go with too much heel, and you can be comfortable but still look very professional, very classy.
Correct. You see a lot of the stacked heels now. We're seeing a lot of the more substantial heels than the spike heels on ladies' boots.
Okay, so before we wrap, we should really talk about Millers in general. Been around for decades and decades, and a staple here in Hamilton. You're very specific, of course. We should talk a couple about the men's shoes as well. Let's bring those out.
Correct.
Because you are very specific to sizes. You actually will go extra wide to super narrow. Very specific to people's feet
Correct.
and
It's
requirements.
very small to very large.
And that's what makes you different from all the other guys.
Absolutely.
Look at these beautiful brogues.
Allen Edmonds, a brogue boot, can be worn very casual.
Yep.
Also, could be dressed up a bit.
love
This
that.
is a hot item for men's footwear right now, is the brogue influenced ankle boot. Also, Geox makes a wonderful version as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
These look really good on men.
They look really
Say.
good. Yes.
I really like men and a really nice looking pair of boots. I'm gonna grab these ones too because I like these as well. But again, it's a lot of times you're seeing them really like left open and casual too, and a lot of guys depending on your sort of your dress. But I mean, this is definitely every man can have a pair of these.
Correct. And if you can get away, if a man can get away with a nice skinny jean, it's a very good look as well.
Good look. It's a good look. Well, you know what? I could spend hours with you because we're talking about shoes. So we're gonna come back another time and we'll talk about spring or summer shoes or something.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Andrew. You're the best.
Have
All
a
right,
great
we'll be
winter.
back with more at Terra at Home. Thanks to Miller Shoes.
TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning. Welcome back to Terra at Home. I'm here with Chef Iain. We're at the Go Kitchen here at the Spectator building. So we're borrowing their kitchen today. And we are making another lovely hearty meal for this time of year, which is...
I'm doing a minestrone. I have to say this is the most ingredients that I've had on the counter
yes.
at any one time. The good news is it is a one-pot wonder.
Right, so a
and
lot of prep work.
A lot of prep work goes into it.
But
once it's into the pot, literally, you can give it a couple of stirs and leave it alone. Let it, bubble away for most of the afternoon, and you are left with the most amazing rich, hearty vegetable stew.
Okay.
We have minestrone soups and we have minestrone stews.
Right.
Some of the first recipes date back to the Roman times where minestrone meant vegetables are a necessity. It's what they had at the time. They had a spelt sort of porridge and they had the vegetables that they had at the time, and that's what they would incorporate in.
Okay.
Again, the recipes have changed over the years. You know, with the introductions of classic cuisine, it comes with what you have at the time.
Sure.
So again, you look into your fridge and what you have, and essentially you're putting things together.
But minestrones generally include some type of bean, right?
Some type of bean, that's pretty much our thickening agent.
Okay.
And again, a variety of different vegetables.
Okay. What bean? What are we using today?
Cannelli beans.
Cannelli bean. Okay.
Cannelli beans.
But you can sometimes you see different types of beans.
Oh,
right?
all sorts of, like if you have kidney beans at home, absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
What I'm doing is with a really heavy bottomed pot, I just added a little bit of butter, a little bit of olive oil. I don't want to burn it, and the olive oil is going to give it a really nutty flavor. I'm essentially going to add, I have some white onion and some celery, and I'm going to add that away. And essentially, this is another recipe that requires a lot of patience.
Okay.
You are just going to let things sort of meld onto themselves, and you're going to wait till things start to brown up.
Okay.
Okay, at this time, I'm really going to take a heavy hand at seasoning my celery and my onions. I'm going to have a little more, there's pancetta that's in this recipe that's going to add a lot of the saltiness to the flavor as well.
That would really, I don't think I've had a minestrone with pancetta in it.
Yeah, I
That
talked to
sounds
my
good.
butcher and I asked for a spicy pancetta.
Okay.
And again, you can play around, you know, what you have at the time. You know, if it's some bacon rashers from previous Sunday's breakfast,
Sure.
put them in. Again,
Okay.
it's just sort of that fat that's involved
Right.
that's going to break down and render and just give it that wonderful smoky taste to it.
Okay.
From there, I'm going to add, as we just spoke about, I'm going to add my pancetta.
Okay.
I'm going to start to, like I said, render it and break it down.
Okay.
Okay? Like I said, there's a lot of ingredients to go through, but as I said before, you know, once things are well underway, it's something that you can just, you know, leave to its devices.
Best thing is to just invite you over and let you do all the prep work.
Ultimately available
And then
most
just put it together.
weekends. I'm using Swiss chard. Again, what I've done is I've deveined it, I've separated the leaves, I've rolled it up a little bit and cut it. The chef term is called a chiffonade.
Right.
It's a French term
little ribbon.
for doing ribbons. Look at you,
Look at, I
somebody's
retain
paying
things
attention. That's
sometimes.
awesome.
This is amazing.
Brilliant. So what we're going to do is with our vegetables that are already cooking is we're going to start to wilt down our Swiss chard. And I can tilt a pot
That
towards
actually really
my
adds
camera.
to the healthiness of all this. Really, when you look at it, this is actually very healthy.
Almost,
Right?
you know,
Almost.
it sort of, you
Well,
know,
it's a little
takes the
bit of
bacon
butter,
and the
but
butter, but yeah, it's all good.
you know what?
So it's a heavy
not that bad.
bottom pot is the most important thing. Again, that's just so you'll be able to sort of leave it to its devices.
Okay.
I'm going to add some carrots and I'm going to add my potatoes. They're going to take the longest to sort of break down and to become tender. So carrots are going to add some wonderful sweetness to it. And potato.
Yes, so I didn't know there was potato in there either. So
Again, all sorts of different recipes.
Right.
I'm looking for something that's going to thicken it up. I've also got my cannelli beans. I'm going to
Yes.
ask a favor of you.
yes, here we go.
If you would take 1/3 of that bowl and
Okay.
put it into the other bowl, and you can add some beef stock if you would. And what we're going to do,
it's kind of half, but
perfect, it's all good.
okay. How much
But
of
the
this?
wonderful thing about cooking, it's a science experiment.
Right.
You know, baking is more chemistry.
That's
You
what I
make
call my
more
cooking.
mistakes. It's harder to correct.
true.
Just add a little bit of your beef stock, and essentially you're going to make that into a paste.
Tell me when.
With your immersion blender. That's perfect. So that again is part of our thickening agent, is
Okay.
making that wonderful bean paste. So it's going to be a little bit of noise.
All right, here we go. So I'm just trying to make this into a paste, right?
That's great.
Without getting it all over the kitchen.
It all over the kitchen.
not happening.
We're making it into a paste.
just
Ultimately,
do
that's going to be
this.
our thickening agent.
Right, okay.
That's absolutely
So
perfect.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thickening.
Our cannelli beans and a little bit of beef stock. Perfect, Leslie. I'm glad you feel comfortable at home to use my sleeve as a towel.
That's why you wear those, right?
Exactly.
Instead of my
We're
nice
chefs.
velvet jacket.
I'm going to add the rest of the beans. I'm going to add some tomatoes. And ultimately,
See, look at this, is getting easier by the minute.
easier by the minute. Look at all the counter space I'm freeing up. And essentially my last component that I'm adding to it is my wonderful beef stock. And I'm just going to add enough that it's going to cover just a little bit of the vegetables.
Okay.
And then I'm good to go.
Because you said you like yours more like a thicker style, where some people have it more like a soup.
If you would prefer more of a soup, then just add more of your beef stock.
Okay.
And yeah, we're
Okay.
just going to let it sort of sit to its own devices. The last things that we're going to add to it is a little bit of rosemary stems.
So just add that whole spring
Just
in there.
a whole spring in there.
Okay.
After a while, it's going to start to break down and the leaves start to give way. And it's going to give that sort of wonderful aroma and flavor. And ultimately, what I'm going to use is
This
a
is
bit
your
of,
secret.
It's my secret.
Yep.
It's Parmesan rind.
Okay.
And again, it's going to
Flavor.
let loose that cheese and saltiness flavor. I'm putting it right into the pot.
Okay.
And like I said, you step away from it for an hour or so,
All right.
occasionally coming back to give it a stir.
Okay, so
just
we're going
make
to step
sure.
away from for about 2 minutes, and then we'll come back and pretend it's been an hour or two.
An hour or two.
We'll be right back with more Terra at Home.
Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
The Hamilton Spectator, at work, at home, or on the go. Read us online, in print, or download us to your e-reader. Get the Hamilton Spectator any way you want it.
Welcome back to Terra at Home, and hours have passed, right, in our 2-minute commercial break. And so we've allowed this lovely minestrone to cook down and to really thicken. And it's in a good state now, and it smells amazing.
Wonderful, hearty. We started off with onions, carrots, celery. We've added potato. There was some Swiss chard that was added, a little bit of pancetta, that's some Italian bacon that was added.
So there's lots of good color. It's very hearty.
Great color. It's managed to cook down. All the diced tomatoes that we added have all sort of collapsed onto themselves and started to break down. I have a wonderful shot here for you. I'll lift that up.
How long are we really, once we've incorporated all of that, how long are we really leaving it for?
Maybe an hour and a half.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Again, it sort of depends. Cut your vegetables small if you're pressed for time. Cut your vegetables a little more smaller. It'll break down a little faster if you're pressed for time.
Okay.
It's wonderful. And like I said, with a minestrone, I like to incorporate it as a stew almost.
Just a reminder, of course, you can find this recipe on our website at terragreenhouses.com. And really, this is just like, as you were mentioning, a one-pot meal. This is hearty enough. It has everything you need.
Well
and
said, yeah.
It's amazingly filling and great for you.
Yeah.
And I've noticed you added a little
Just a little toast on the
toasty
side.
on the side there.
Fantastic.
Isn't that lovely? That
great.
looks so awesome.
And for all the ingredients that it was, it's just a one pot.
Really? Now,
yeah,
one
from
thing I've
start
noticed
to
with some
finish.
minestrones, they have, some people put pasta in them too, right?
Yep, you can put it on a bed of rice, a bed of pasta, either
Okay.
way, certainly.
Okay.
I just try to think of it as
But you
a
added
hearty
potato
stew.
to yours, so it's like, yeah, it's it's an Italian stew where,
true.
where our land where we come from, in the UK and Ireland and all that, is we add more of a Guinness, braised beef and stuff like that. So everybody has their kind of stew, right?
That's right.
Well, this looks
Perfect.
good. Yum.
Looks great.
Are you shooting this stuff? It's really good. This is perfect for a weekend in the winter, isn't it? All right, that's it for now. For Terra at Home, have yourself a lovely Saturday.